Hi, my name's Josh, and welcome to my channel where we talk about all things related to scaling and increasing your sales on Amazon. So, if you're interested in getting a more personalized approach, I do offer one-on-one consulting, and you can use the link in the description below to get in touch. So, today I wanted to talk about a topic which a lot of sellers have been trying to focus on, especially recently, given that the Amazon platform has potentially reached a very competitive stage in its cycle. And that option is to do with pricing. So the reason I bring it up, for one, is the more competitive you are with your pricing, the more ultimately units you're going to sell, which is going to result in a higher conversion rate on Amazon, which will also in turn help your ranking. So it's definitely a strategy that I recommend curating and honing over time so that you can really hit that sweet spot between, your optimal price point and obviously the maximum amount of profits. So to get started, we're going to kind of look at this product here, for example. And if you're looking to sell a product on Amazon, one thing you might want to do when you get started is to jump on someone else's listing. So in this case, we do have a product here, and let's just say that you're thinking about selling a particular protein powder and you have authorization to sell it and you're able to leverage another listing by jumping on it as a third-party seller, then this might be an option for you. So what a lot of people do is they'll sell one that's similar by clicking on the listing, and then once they become a seller here, you'll see the additional offers that they have. And you can see these are all third-party sellers, so they're not actually coming from the brand itself, but they're reselling this particular product. And this happens very frequently on Amazon. And what we call the seller who wins the offer. So when I visit the page, you'll see this here. And you can see that this is sold by Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon, and it's actually sold by the brand directly itself. And what they've done is they've secured a spot in the buy box, which is this area, for this particular product. So what you want to do is ultimately, if you're hopped onto a listing with other sellers, is you want to also secure the buy box. I do have another video on this, so check the rest of my channel for details on that. But just to give you a brief overview at the time, usually you can win the buy box if you have a good seller rating, if you have a good price, of course, is one of the main factors to win the buy box. And then, of course, there's other things that come into play, such as your seller history, your feedback, and then your fulfillment method, whether you're using FBA versus FBM. So for right now, we're just going to focus on the price here. And what you want to do is, if you're on another person's listing, you want to compete with the other sellers, and you want to compete via price. So, for example, that I'm logged into here, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go to pricing rules, which is under automate pricing. And you'll see you have the option to competitively and automatically update your pricing. So this is a pretty powerful feature because it allows you to gain a higher percentage share of the buy box depending on the users that visit the page. And then ultimately it's going to enable you to make more sales. So it's a pretty simple method. I definitely recommend doing this when starting out on someone else's listing. Eventually you're going to want to start your own listing and build your ranking and your qualification and feedback from there. But as you're getting started, it's a very quick way to do it and compete and scale your sales. So if we look at this pricing rules page within Seller Central, you'll be given an option to edit SKUs. And here you'll see the SKUs you can add and what your minimum and maximum price is. So you don't necessarily have to enter a maximum price, but I would certainly recommend the minimum price here. And what you're going to have to do is see, okay, how does my price compare with others? What are the other minimum prices or prices of the third-party sellers within the particular listing that I'm on that I have to compete with? And then you have to decide, okay, can I match those prices? Can I go a little bit lower based on my margins? So some things you might want to take into account, and I go into this in more detail in my other videos, is how much your cost per unit is. So what are you paying per unit? What's your fulfillment cost on Amazon? Do you have any other costs associated with it? If you're shipping yourself, what's your shipping cost to self-fulfill? And then, of course, do you have any marketing costs or anything like that that might come into effect here and affect your margins? And then once you've determined the lowest price, and I would probably say you don't want to go any lower than 50% of your retail price. Some people cut it at 30 or 40%. You can start at a smaller percentage and then you can increase it as you go to see how it affects sales and if it's worth, discounting more or less based on if you get additional volume versus obviously your depreciated profit margin. So you'll enter the price in here and then you'll click take action to apply that automated pricing. Again, just be very careful about this and keep an eye on it and make sure your minimum pricing is correct and you're not losing money per unit. But it is a great and very simple way, again, to procure the buy box and to secure more eyeballs on your potential seller offer to scale your sales. So again, I would highly consider it. Definitely start out with maybe 1 or 2 products to test, look at the data, see what kind of lift you're getting from it, and then adjust and go from there and do it slowly over time until you either decide that you want to leverage it for all your products or it's not something that you want to use as an option. So that's where I would start. And that's basically it for today. If you liked my video, also make sure to download my free ebook in the description below, and take care.